Well, welcome to Sunday Night Spins here at 35 to 1 Roulette Cruisin. We're here a little early today. Figured I'd get on here at 4 o'clock, 2 hours before the Super Bowl starts. I know you guys probably are wanting to take a gander at that while it's going on, of course. So I just wanted to hop on here and do my spins like I do on Sunday night. I missed last Sunday. I was on a cruise. I was on Utopia of the Seas. And as probably most of you have seen already, I had the cruising debrief. Wasn't a bad cruise, but we made some points, and I do have some information to share on that. So let's see who's on here with us. I know it's early. We've got 7 people watching right now. As you can see, right up here, this is something new I'm trying. So last week or 2 weeks ago, I had Lee Razor. He paid $4.99 for a one-hit wonder spin. So hopefully he'll come on here again because I'm thinking of tweaking that just a little bit. I'm going to change it up. And what I'm trying to do here is if you pay $1.99 for a super chat. So if you go down into the chat, hit the little dollar sign there on the bottom right, hit a super chat. $1.99 allows you to put 50 characters. That's 50 letters, 50 numbers, whatever in there. So you pay the $1.99, you put in your one-hit wonder spin. You have 20 chips to work with, and I'll put them out. I mean, this is at any point during the 1 hour live that we have here. All right. So whoever wants to try it first, it is 20 chips. You have to double up. All right. So you have to double your money. There's no minimum on any bet I place anywhere, and it's only during the live. So I know some people come on here after the fact and watch it after I get finished with the live. So you can do one if you want to do a super chat at that point, but you won't be able to participate in the one-hit wonder, okay? So you paid $1.99, one-hit wonder spin. At any point during the live session, we'll go ahead and knock it out. I will still try to do, at the end, a one-hit wonder spin for, I can go up to 10 people. So let's give that a go. Let's see how it goes. All right, let's see what we got on here tonight, or today. I see Jason's on here. Hey, Jason. Let's see, David's on here. Who's going to win tonight's game? Yes, so this is a pre-Super Bowl spin that we're doing tonight. So we've got the New England Patriots against the Seattle Seahawks. Who do you think is going to win? We're going to play tonight. What we're going to do is I'm going to run a session of 40 spins with either we're going to do Point Pusher for both, or we're going to do Comp Force 90 for both. I don't know. We want them to run the same strategy head to head. Just different sides of the table. I want to do Comp Force 90, but I'm afraid Comp Force 90 might take too long with 40 spins. So we may have to just change it up and just go with Point Pusher. That's easy to figure out if it's a push or not, so we can kind of run through it pretty quick. All right, so let's see. So whoever you think is going to win, go ahead and put it in the chat for me. You think the Patriots have got it? Think the Seahawks have got it? I don't know. Let's see. James is saying Seattle. Let's see. So David, there's a second part of David's question. Who's going to win tonight's game, or who do you want to win more like? Okay, so I really don't have a preference. Let's see. Aaron's on here. Howdy, Aaron. Andrew's on here. Hey, Aaron. Justin's on here. All right, so we got 8 people watching. Let's see. Most of you saw the cruising debrief that we did, and Aaron was on that cruise with me, and it was a rough go for a roulette. Just because the table minimums were a little high. I mean, they were $25 minimum. So $25 minimum here on the outside. So any strategy that we run, of course, we have to have $25 on the outside, and it's kind of makes it expensive. So there's not too many strategies that we can run. Of course, you've got Point Pusher and you've got Comp Force 90. It's hard to run Comp Force 90 because you have to multiply it by 3. And that'd be like $270 on the table. Well, I'm not putting $270 on the table. And the other thing is the ratings on Utopia are horrendous, okay, for roulette. 3 sessions for me. I think I did 30-something spins, 178 points over. It really just didn't work out very well, so I didn't play too much roulette on Utopia. If you're experiencing that same thing, let me know. So for some reason, a lot of people are having a tough time with that. All right, let's start it out. Let's go ahead and get. Let's go ahead and run it. Let's see a New England versus Seattle spinoff here. And what I want to do is I'm going to go 40 spins. So let's see. So I'm going to get, let's just get $500 for, let's pay with orange and purple. How about that? A little easier to see. All right, so we're going to go here. So orange and purple. All right, so set up this way. This is going to be New England here, Seattle here. All right, so we're going to run it out. We're going to run 40 spins with it. We're going to run point pusher for both of them, but we're going to switch sides. Okay, so with point pusher, of course, it's a $90 average. So we're going to go 3 stacks of 30. All right, so there's our 3 stacks of 30. All right, so New England, let's set it up with, let's set it up this way. All right, so here, and there, and there. All right, so 30 down there, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, okay, all the way down. And then we got Seattle's going to play the opposite. All right, I know this ain't going to make much sense, but hey, this is, some people have asked how would I play a, like a comp strategy as a team. This is how my wife and I would set it up, so why not let's run it out this way. Let's see who our winner is after 40 spins. We're going to go 10 spins. We're going to see who wins the quarter, okay? So every 10 spins is a quarter, and we'll see. So remember, one-hit wonder up here. If anybody wants to try it, you'll just give it a go. Let's see, David's on here. I'm not a big fan of American football, but I always stay up into the early hours to watch Super Bowl. I don't watch too much pro ball myself either, David. All right, let's see. All right, 17. That's a push for both. All right, and that's fine. It's an even matchup. All right, this is an even matchup. I don't know if there's one team any better than the other one right now. I really don't. He says, I have my sweet corn and Coke Zero at the ready. Okay. All right, 25. That's another push. All right, the only spot that we're going to have a win is going to be down here somewhere. And we got to just see if somebody has a bust. That's the main thing. Whoever has a bust first is going to be the one who pretty well loses it all. All right, 5. Oh, Lord. They both had a bust. All right. So we're going to go ahead and pay out 90 and 90. So a $90 loss on both sides. I probably should do it this way. Here and here. But no, I'm going to keep it the same. I'm just going to see who can dodge their bust numbers. All right. All right, 10. All right, it's another push. But this is another example of what I was talking about as far as a comp strategy as a team. You and your wife, or you know, your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, your partner, whatever, can sit down and play it like this. And the only number that busts you both is the 5. Okay, so 14. That's a push. Both sides take skill. Yeah, well, it's easy to keep up with this because everything's a push. Pretty well everything down this way is a push for both of them. We're just focusing on this area right here is it. As long as we can avoid that, we'll be all right. All right, let's see what we got. Andrew, alternate setup, $5, 0 0 5 times 15 double streets, and $10 street. $10 street in payout. Oh, it's payout. I look at it this way. If you bet on the Patriots, you can win even if they don't win the game, all right? All right, okay. All right, so there we go. So we got a 0. All right, so that is a $30 profit for both. All right, so we're going to bring that back to our rack. All right. Who's going to get a bust number first? Now, they both had a bust on that 5, obviously. Alternate setup. I had to look at that more, Andrew. I'm trying to figure out what we got. 5 times 15 double street. $15 double streets. $10 street. Have to dive into that a little more. All right, there we go, 15. All right, we are 9 spins into it. Justin says, my cruise is February 26th. I'm hoping have time to give me your opinion on my strategy / email. And I am trying that, you know, it is tough to keep up with those emails. I do my best to keep up with them. I probably got about 8 strategies sitting there in line right now. Before then, okay, so I want to try to get a couple done this week. Hey guys, checking in. All right, that's Mike. Mike's checking in. All right, 3. There we go. We finally had a bust. Okay, so that is going to be a bust on the orange there. Yep, because it's a push there. So there we go. So that's a loss right there. All right, but it's a push on New England there. All right, 10 spins in. And so first quarter down, New England is ahead. First quarter down, New England is ahead. All right, 23, that's a push. Get me some more chips here so I can get all 40 of them done right here. All right, 8. All right, that is a push for both. All right, we got 9 people on here. If you don't mind, hit that like button for me. It sure helps. All right, 17. It's another push for both. All right, Jason says, there's no real coming back to a lead. It'll be who has the most wax. I know. We're going to see who can survive the entire time. Yeah, I think it would be better to play this as a Comp Force 90, but it would just take way too long. I mean, I'd be here for an hour doing 40 spins with Comp Force 90 running both sides, and I would crack my brain. Yeah, Aaron and I had a tough time on Utopia. It was that roulette $25 minimum was tough. All right, 31. All right, let's see. I know I got on here at a weird time for everybody, and it's hard to let you guys know, too far in advance and how, throwing something together like this. Just glad you guys were on here and able to hang out. All right, Randall's on there. Hey, Randall. He says, starting a little early today. Yes, I had to start a little early because the Super Bowl's going on, and I didn't want to start at 9 o'clock right in the middle of the Super Bowl. So figured, hey, we'll just throw it together and get on here and see how it goes. We're currently doing a New England versus Seattle. Both sides are running point pusher. So now it's just a matter of who's going to come out ahead. Right now, New England is winning. All right, there's that 0. All right, so we got that's $30 for New England, and there's $30 for Seattle. All right, we got one more spin in this quarter. Here we go, spin number 10 in the second quarter. All right, Patty's on there. Hi, forgot the time zone difference. I'm late. Yeah, it's all right, Patty. I'm only like 5 hours early, so we're just trying something tonight because of the Super Bowl. All right, so that was a 33. All right, so that's the end of the second quarter, halftime. Patriots are ahead. Let's see if they can continue to stay ahead, or will they get whacked a couple times before the end of the game. So first spin of the third quarter here, 18. It's another push. All right, 1. Uh-oh. There we go. There, New England got their first whack. All right. There we go. All right, 3 spins into the third quarter. We are even. All right. Let's see who can pull it out. All right, 23. That's a push. We may end up with a tie. I think if, let's do this. If we end with a tie after 40 spins, we're going to switch over to Comp Force 90. We'll go 10 spins as an overtime, and then we'll see what happens. How about that? You like that idea? All right, so those of you that joined late, I got a one-hit wonder for $1.99. $1.99 super chat. Just put your put where you want your 20 chips placed. We'll run it that way tonight and see how it goes. 33 is a push again. What about the 2-minute warning on the table? Oh, Lord. I probably should switch those, but I don't want to change it now. I should have thought about that before I started. You made it to where one could get a win and the other one not, you know. But, hey, I think this is fair enough. Even match team, even match strategy. We're currently down $200. Well, we're only down $100 because we've got $90 on the table, give or take. So, not doing bad for both of them. Surviving this long. All right, spin number 8 in the third quarter. All right, come on. All right, 35, another push. So if my wife and I were going to sit down to run a comp strategy together, we would do something like this. Alternate the side, you know. I'm on one side, she's on this side. We alternate like that. And we're both covering down here. Uh-oh. 1. That's another $90 loss. $90 loss for New England. All right, spin number 10 for quarter number 3. New England is down. All right, 4. Oh my gracious alive. New England is getting beat. All right, here we go. Start of the fourth quarter. New England is down. Can we get a couple of wins? It's going to be hard for them to recover unless Seattle gets a couple of busts here. All right, 26. That's a push. Will they survive? That's the other question. $500 in. New England is down $300 right now. 34. And Seattle's down $120. All right, 10. That's a push. All right, 4 spins into the fourth quarter. Seattle is in the lead. 31, a push. All All right, first Super Bowl I ever watched was the one with Chicago and William the Fridge Perry. Okay, that's been a few years. I was a little boy whenever that that game happened. All right, 6. Uh-oh. Now we've got something on our hands. All right, Seattle just lost $90. All right, 7 spins into the 4th quarter. All right, 8. That's a push. Yeah, I wasn't expecting for it to do this bad in 40 spins, to be honest. Let's see, so that's at least 300, 200. So that's $500 down for the 2 of them. 34 is a push. All right, spin number 9 for the 4th quarter. All right, 30. That is a push for both. All right, spin number 10 for the 4th quarter. Seattle has the lead. Can they survive? All right, 35. There we have it. All right, let's rack it up. Seattle has won it. All right, so they both started with $500. Seattle, that's a loss of $210. And New England has a loss of $300. I must have missed $10 somewhere in there. But there you have it. So, with tonight's prediction as to who's going to win the Super Bowl, Seattle's going to win it. So go ahead and put everything you got on the game, okay? So we know. We've done run through the session here, and now we know for sure who's going to win it. So there's really no sense in even watching the game at this point. But, hey, all right. So, do you think the prediction is going to be accurate, or do you think this is hogwash? What do you think? All right. You got anything you want me to run out tonight? I know there was something Andrew put in up there. So, let's see. We didn't buy in for anything, so we're not really going for any points on that. But if we were going for points, both people that were playing, let's say it was a team strategy, both of them would have earned 360, 350 to 400 points. Okay, so we'll say 350 a piece. This person lost $300. This person lost $200. So just kind of give you an idea, if you was wanting to run a team strategy, this is one you could run as that comp strategy. But it kind of fell apart on us just a little bit. Not too bad. I mean, could be worse, I guess, but kind of run on some bad numbers up there for a little bit. All right, so Seattle, we're going to see if this is true. So we'll check back to this next Sunday and see if it worked out or not. All right, what we got here? New England must have been missing Tom Brady. Yeah, they didn't have a quarterback or a kicker. All right, let's see here. What do we want to do here? All right. The points are likely less now, though. I reckon Royal is moving the points around. I'll see how I do this weekend. Oh, you're going on 1. Hey, Ron, how you doing, buddy? All right, so Jason, you're going on a cruise this weekend. So what ship are you going on, Jason? You're going out of Australia. Am I correct on that? So I'm just curious to know, does it have a craps table? I'm sure it probably does. That's one thing we're running into. There's a ship over here that's Rhapsody, I think Rhapsody of the Seas, keeps bouncing around. They're getting a craps table, they're not getting a craps table. And today, I heard that the pit bosses said it's not getting a craps table. So rumor has it, the Rhapsody is not getting a craps table. They supposedly loaded the table on the ship, measured for it and all that stuff, and then they're like, oh no, it won't fit. So then they're sending it off the ship. All right, so Jason says he's going on Anthem. Anthem of the Seas is what he's traveling on. All right, so what do we want to run? Trying to think here. Trying to think. Of course, I always like testing, I continue to like to test these comp strategies. But we need some of them strategies that we can walk up and try to make some money with. So let's see. Let's go ahead and buy in for $300. And remember, your cash on the table, your CPass card, they scan it, give it back to you. That's how you get your points on the cruise. And let's see. So let's get $300. And we're going to get $300 in red chips. Okay. All right, so on Utopia, you know, that $25 minimum, about the only thing that I could figure to run was Point Pusher. I ran Point Pusher. It did well. I went 10 spins with it and it hit a zero at like, literally, I think it was like spin number 10. I hit the zero, which was a $30 profit. I gave the dealer a $5 tip and cashed out and walked away up, you know, 25 bucks. Okay, so a $500 buy-in and cashed out for $525 after the tip. The other thing, I ran 5-1 on the other tables. So the 5-1 is 25 on the column, and we're going to go on this first column here. So 25 there, and we're going to go 10 on 5 corners there. Okay, so it's a push. It's a push on this column. And then it's a 3-chip profit on these corners. Most of you have seen this strategy, but you know, I want to win and I want to press those 3 chips. All right, so 22, that's a push. And I know there's a lot of people says, hey, just throw an extra chip there so at least you're winning chips the whole time. But the problem with doing something like that is it takes, you know, like 8 wins to recover that. And I don't want to be just chasing the entire time with those 10, you know, $10 win. All right, so there we go. So I know that is a 3-chip profit. Okay, because that pays 16. So there's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so there's that 3-chip profit. So I'm going to take those 3 chips right there, and we landed in the middle. So I'm hoping it's going to switch sides anyway. So we're just going to pick. We're just going to pick 3 of them corners and throw those 3 chips out there and put them to work. All right, let's see here. Okay, so Jason says, craps is why I now sell Royal. Carnival out of Australia doesn't run craps, and so they don't get my action anymore. Wow, okay, that's something. And Jason says, so we should be 75. Okay. Let's see, who we got on here? MRJ GARBO. Okay. I know that your tagline, but it's impossible to relent without giving them your CPass card. That's right. And let's see, for 10 spins at $75 bet. That's the plan. All right, what did I hit? All right, 32. All right, 32. All right, that's a push. So we rake the table, we'll put it all back. So we're just going to keep those 3 chips out there working. Where it's at, that is spin number 3 here. All right. So now what we're hoping is, you know, one of these 4 numbers to hit would be great. One of these 4 numbers or one of these 4 numbers. So that's kind of what we're going for here. All right, 15. All right, we missed it. But that's okay, because that's going to be a push. If I raked it, that would be all of our chips would be back out there. And we'll spin it. Let's switch sides with it. Let's see if it comes back over here. All right, now we've created a push on this whole column over here. We just landed on that column over there, so let's see if it's going to switch sides for us here. All right, 19. All right, bingo. All right, so now, let's see. That's going to pay 8 to 1, so there's 8 there. That's going to be 16 right there. All right, that is 15, there is 16. Now we're going to drop it back down to base. I got it's 5 there. 10, 10, 10, 10, and 10. And then we're going to bring this back. So now one cycle is a $60 profit. Okay, so remember we hit that corner, which earned us 3 chips. And I put an extra chip in like 4 corners there, or 3 corners. And now that one cycle, we took those 3 chips and we turned it into a $45 profit. All right, so we'll rack that right there. We're back down to base. We're at $75 on the table right now. And we're 4 spins in. All right, for 10 spins at $75. Correct, that is $75. I would probably run this 10 spins and try to walk away, because it's going to find, we have 6 bus numbers on here. Now that I've talked about them, we'll probably hit one. All right, but hopefully not. All right, so there we go. So there is that 3 chip profit right there. All right, so now it's a question, should we go ahead and push these on out here, or should we just say, hey, look, I've got $300, I'm in profit, I'm playing with their money right now. Let's just play with their money. All right, let's play with their money for a minute. I should probably pressed it up then, but you know, hey, you know, I think we're even. Let's just go with it. Let's see what happens here. Sometimes you can get too greedy, and that's when it gets you. All right, 11. All right, there's that 3 chip profit. All right, now let's we haven't hit that side in a little while. Let's keep it there. Let's keep it there. So let's go with 3. Let's take these 3 here, and let's go right here, right down the middle. Let's see what happens. All right, so we took that 3 chip profit. Now we got it all out there. We're at $90 on the table right now. So hopefully the pit boss comes by and sees that you have $90, and that will help your average, unless you're on Utopia. All right, 17, bingo. All right, so we're going to rake everything. Let's pay all this out. Okay, there's 15 right there. There is 16. And there is 8. All right, so now I'm going to drop it back down. All right, and then we're going to go 25 there, and then look at this profit we're bringing back. And there is that $60 profit again. All right, let's bring that back. All right, so it seems to be holding up fairly well at the moment. And, you know, if Ron's still on here, Ron that just chatted in, he's the one that did the challenge. He and Aaron run that challenge for me, craps versus roulette. And it was a hard challenge to run on Utopia because of that high minimum on roulette. I would really like to have run that on a $10 table, but, you know, we was working with what we had. So I'm wanting to tweak that challenge just a little bit, because I feel like a $500 buy-in to run a challenge is it's a little steep. But, you know, Ron and Aaron were more than willing to participate in it. I'm going to switch sides because we've hit that column over there. And how many of you saw the video? Did y'all like that video and want to see more of it? It's hard to video. That Royal has such a strict rule on video, using your video camera in the casino. I could get a lot better material if they'd just let me get to the table. All right, 23. All right, bingo. All right, so this is working out pretty good. All right. So there is that 15 there. There is 16. And there is the 8 for that one. Now let's bring it all back to our rack. Now we are up $195 is what we're up right now. We have gone 8 spins. Okay. All right, let's go a couple more. Let's see if we can get some more spins out of it. What was that? 23. So we hit in the middle. Let's hit over there. Let's keep it on that side. I like to run away from where it has been hitting. You know, if it's hit that column over there, let's think it's probably going to come to this side for us. Not sure what you guys, if you guys chase the side that's hitting or not. I'm more of a belief that it's probably not going to hit that one again. All right, 18. But if I would have went over there, then that would have hit. Hence why I struggle on picking which side to go with. All right, we are 10 spins in, $75 average. All right, 10. Okay, there's that 3 chip profit right there. All right, so let's see here. So we're going to go these 3 chips here. And let's hit a couple over there. It's only hit 1 over here. Let's stay on this side. Let's go here. This is the hardest part. Pick that one or this one. So we'll go with this one. All right. So you've got 4 holes to pick from, and you have 3 chips to throw in there. So, you know, just, you know, pick which 3 of the 4. This seems like it's harder to do than to say. All right, there we go. So, all right, that's a push. All right. Surviving fairly well. And another thing, switching sides like this, it kind of changes your bust numbers. You know, it moves it to 34 and 1 and, you know, 2 and 35, of course. But then you switch it over to 35, 36 and 2 and 3. So kind of shifting that just a little bit and hopefully dodging that. But being I pointed at it, that's what it decides to land on. So, you know, the wheel has eyes and ears. All right, so. All right, we're going to go 5 or 25 there. 10, 10, 10, 10, and 10 there. All right, let's see if we can get us another couple of good wins here. Recover that. That's 75. All right, so there is $100. So $120 is what we're up right now. Let's see if we can recover that. All right, 6. All right, there we go. So that is the 3 chip profit there. And let's keep it on that side. Let's go that. Let's do that right there. And I don't know what it is about this strategy, but I do like playing this strategy here, especially when you do something like this, when you try to press it for that win, that bigger win. You know, and it's a lot of insurance going on, except if you hit the column. Now that I mention it, if you hit this column, we're going to lose those 3 chips. And 25. You know, I'm going to quit talking. So we just lost that 3 chips there. We were doing so good for a little while. All right, make sure to hit that like button for me. I know there's 7 of you on here. I know you guys have already hit that like button. So anybody new that might have dropped in. 13. All right, that's a push. I should have switched. But anyway. All right, we're going to get to 20 spins. We are at 16 spins right now. It says, okay, so David says if you put a 5 on the 9 corners and 5 more on the column, you can profit on the column as well. Ooh. It's a little bit more at risk, ain't it? But like I said, those strategies where you're kind of nickel and diming, you know, $5 and $10 or $5, you know, cycling like that I don't feel like they survive. I feel like it's just making your way to a loss is kind of what I feel. I feel like let's get us a big profit, or at least a $15 profit, and lose everything we got right there, and use that to press into a bigger win. I mean, because we have gone, that's 2 busts we've had in 17 spins at this point. You know, and if we would have been earning that $5 or $10, whatever, every single time, well, that was 75, and then we grinded back at 75. We, you know, seems like you're just constantly, you know, grinding. When I want to get a hit, get another hit, and then 2 wins, I've got, you know, $60 profit. All right, that's a push. All right. Did I miss a chip? I don't know. We're 19 spins. We're 19 spins. We're actually still in good shape. We're in profit just a little bit as long as we can survive the next 2 spins. And honestly, we cannot. And there we go. That's that $75 loss right there. And spin number 20. Let's see, no, split your $10 corners so they cover 9 consecutive corners and add $5 more to your column. All right, let me get through with this one and we'll readdress that. All right, there we go. That's that $15. All right, so we're at 20 spins. Let's press it. Let's press it. Just see if we can recover a little bit of that loss. I hate to. I know we're up right now. That had been 75, 90. We'd probably been down like 15 bucks, I think, if I'd have went ahead and cashed out right there. And won. All right, so that's that loss of that 15 right there. It's a good thing we were set on that side. All right, so let's bring it back. All right, so there we have it. So we bought in for $300. So there is 50, 70. So $270. That is a loss of $30 on that session. All right, so we bought in for $300. We're out for $270. That's a loss of $30. We went 20 spins with it. At a $75 average, we should have earned 150 points, unless you're on Utopia. All right, so there we have it. Okay, so let's see. What is, so David wants us to try something here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start with $300 again. I needed to pay out my my win just a second ago. So let's say 350, 370. All right, so there's that. Now we're going to buy in for another $300. I'm going to keep up with our bankroll for the night. All right, so David's wanting us to try something here. All right, so we have our $300. So what's David saying? So David wants us to split your $10 to nine consecutive corners and add $5 more to your column. Okay, so we're going to go, there's 25. Utopia, so Jason's asking, what did Utopia provide for points for 10 spins? One session I did 10 spins of $90 for a point pusher, and I earned like 59 points. And I went over to the other table. I did 10 spins of 5-1, which is $75, and I earned 27 points. And then, but I did 5-1 at the same exact table on night 1 and earned 92 points in 10 spins. So it just fluctuates. I think it's dependent on the pit bosses there. All right, so let's set this up like normal. Let's see if we can figure out what David's wanting us to do here. Do 9 consecutive corners, $5 each, and 30 on the column. Okay, so there's $30 on the column. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so that's what you're talking about there, ain't it, David? So $30 and then $5 on all these corners. He says that make the column profitable. Okay, all right, so let's just look here. So if it lands on, let's just say it lands on 19, we're going to rake it all. All right, so there is that 30, and then that is 15 right there. Okay, so that way that is a $15 profit. Okay. All right, so we say that's $15 profit on that column there, so I'll put that right there. Now let's say we hit 18, so we lose all this. That's going to pay 8 to 1, so there's 8, and then there is that 3 chips there. Okay. All right, so that is a $15 profit on every spot that wins, except, okay, let me look at this again. Okay, so there's that. So it's a $15 profit from 8.9 down to 29.30. It is a little bit of a loss on 32, 33, 5, and 6, because that's only going to pay 8 chips. So if it landed on here, then that would be 6. There would be 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a $30 loss on 5 and 6. $25, $30, $35, $40, $45, $50, $55, $60, $65, $70, $75. Okay, so you're increasing your bus number. It's not really full bus numbers, but you're increasing them. But our average is the same, so $75 average. I don't know, let's run it 10 spins. Let's run it 10 spins and see what happens here. All right, so let's go 10 spins. Let's try it. So we've got to avoid 2, 3, 35, 36, 0, 0, and we need to avoid 5, 6, 32, and 33. Okay, so is it worth the risk for opening 4 more numbers up to a partial loss? All right, so there's 4, so that should be a $15 profit there. All right, so let's. So what do you want to do with this, David? Do you think we should press that, or should we just continue just to collect those $15 wins? That's the part that kind of gets me. So if we just collected those $15 wins, that's 2, 4, 6. You got to have 6 wins. 6 wins to recover 1 loss. All right, 9. Okay, so there's that $15 profit there. So I'm just going to keep those separate right here. Just see if we can, can we get 6 wins in a row before we have a bust of some kind? I think that's the main question. It's got a lot of coverage. It's just as good a coverage. It's just a little worse coverage, but at least you're making $15 each. But this is, like I said, these strategies that just kind of grind the wins. All right, so there's that $75 loss right there. So there's 30. There's 60. There's 75. Okay, so we just lost that $75 right there. Okay. And like I've said before, just because the strategy looks like it just grinds away at profits, it is that recovery. Point pusher is fine, is okay, because you win a third back if you get one. You need 3 of those, okay? But it's hard to dig out of a hole with that one, even if it's getting 33%, okay? So this is not getting 33%. So 21, there's that 15 right there. So you need 6 wins. So that's what I'm saying. These right here just seem to be hard to stick with. Okay, so David says, but your column is now profitable and not a push, right? Patty says, I'm anxious to hear how Anthem is as a ship, considering it's... Oh, okay, you're going on that one, Patty, for Alaska. Continue to collect. Okay, you double the bet on the loss. Uh-oh. Yeah, but 6 is possible. Yes, 6 is possible. I agree. Okay, so there's that $30 loss right there. So there's that 15 we had just won, and here's another one. So we're just going to go ahead and pay that $30 loss right there. So you're saying if we have a complete bust, we should double it up. We should go to 150. And then what's that? That would be a $30 profit. So you need 3 wins to recover that one loss. All right, there's that $30 loss again. It's like it's hammering us. Aaron still on here? It's hard to see who's still on here. I just see you guys chat in. All right, 22. That's a $15 profit there. You know, and it's hard to say if a strategy is going to work out or not. You know, we do such a short session that, you know, you could go to the table and run this and not have a loss in, you know, 100 spins. But like what's showing right now, we're 8 spins into it, and there is another $75 loss. Now, this is not, we're just having a bad run of numbers. So such a small session here to really determine if it's good or not. Jason says, Patty, it's a great ship. Casino is good as well. Wide variety of machines and all the good games casino should have. Anything in particular you want to know? You lost me at double on a loss. So Jason said we lost him at double on a loss. All right, there we go. There's 15 right there. I should have doubled, but I didn't have enough money to double. Yeah, I think if you're going to do the double up thing, you're going to have to buy in for more than $300. Probably have to buy in for like $600 at least, if I had to guess. All right, there we go. That 15 again. All right, that's 10 spins. Let's push it on out. Let's see if it can recover. All right, so those of you that have joined, if you look, there is a chance for a one-hit wonder spin. $1.99 super chat allows you to place 20 chips wherever you want. And if you double your money, you actually win a chip. All right, so that's the thing. That's what we're going for here. So if y'all want to do that, drop one in there. Give it a try. Let's see what we got. 19. All right, there it is. That $15 profit right there. All right. We're going to keep on going, and you can do that at any time. You can do that super chat at any time. You drop it in there, I'll stop what I'm doing, we'll do it, and then see what happens. Just like you walking up to the table and trying to double your money. Most of us have done that at least once. All right, 28. That is a $15 profit. I get so used to saying push. All right, so there we go. So we have 4 of them, 4 wins now. Let's see. So Jason says, in theory, it's good, but you get hit back to back and then 2 wins and another hit, it gets the better of you. Yes, it does. It does. But we're 4 wins. Come on, keep it going. All right, there's 5 wins right there. 1 more win. We've recovered 1 of those complete bust. And we are 14 spins into it right now. All right, 32. Oh, that's that $30 loss. Jeez. Okay, so there is $30 right there. Yikes. All right, so let's see. What's the loss on the 6? Okay, on 6 is a $30 loss. Because it pays 8 chips and we lose 6 chips of the, what is it, 15 we have out there? All right, 20. That's a $15 win right there. There it is. All right. Come on. We can keep it going. All right, if anybody's wondering when my next cruise is, my next cruise is March 23rd on Utopia out of Port Canaveral. 29. There is another $15 profit there. So if you have any offers or anything like that that's allows you to get on that ship that week, load up, let's go. It's a 4-night, so hopefully the roulette table will be a $10 minimum on the 4-night. They increase it to 25 on the weekend cruises or the 3-night. All right, 16. All right, there's that $15 profit right there. Okay, so there is $75 right there. So let's go ahead and we're going to stack that and get that out of the way. And we are 17 spins into it. I want to finish off 20 spins. I want to finish at 20 spins, hopefully. Okay, so there is 100. 21. All right, there we go, 15. All right, so Jason says on Voyager they had a $25 table on the 7-night. Yeah, sometimes they might have one. It's kind of the high roller table, I guess. Sometimes on some of the ships, but it's, you know, they had one on Star that was that way. I don't know if it's that way on Icon, kind of like the high roller section. I just went over there and played on that table while I was on that cruise because it was so busy. And the other tables were $20 minimums. So it's like, well, if it's 20 there, I might as well go play to 25. There ain't nobody standing over there. So, oh, Lord. Oh, nope, we survived. All right, that's a $15 profit there. All right, there we are. 20 spins. All right, 20 spins running the strategy that David, we took the 5-1 and tweaked it just a little bit. Let's see what we finished with here. We bought in for $300. All right, so we are 275, 80, 85. So $285. Okay, after 20 spins. All right, so in for 300, out for 285. Let's see, our average was 75, so we lost $15 on that. And we went 20 spins, 75. We should have got another 150 points. All right, so that comes up to a grand total of 300 points for the night and a loss of, looks like $45 total. I'm not going to count everything. I'm just going to go with what I got written here. So a loss of $45 for the night. All right, a loss of $45. 300 points. All right, not too bad. We just did 2 sessions. And that's the one thing that I like to point out is that, you know, craps may be okay for sustaining your money, okay, for, you know, a long time. But I find it difficult to stand at the craps table for, I mean, days on end, because that's what happened to me on Utopia. Utopia, I stood there for forever, and man, you talk about killing my legs and my back. It was just kind of, it was rough. It was rough. But, you know, I was able to play on a low bankroll and cash out, you know, even most sessions I pretty well cashed out even and earned pretty good points. I felt like on Utopia, the craps table was probably the most consistent, where I knew if I was playing $30 or whatever, I would, you know, get through with my session And if I was there for an hour, hour and a half or whatever, you know, I would have like 60 to 80 points or something, which, you know, doesn't seem like much for an hour, but it was because I had such a low rating. My average was really low just because I only play a couple of numbers. So you have to consider that. All right, so let's see. Just one more spin to even. Yeah, I could have went to one more, but anyway, we'll take it. We'll take it. We'll walk away with 20 spins and just accept, because we could have got a bust number and lost 75. So we might as well walk away. All right, let's see. We're going to go ahead. We're going to do the last spin one hit wonder. And this is the freebie one. So the one during live session is the one that's $1.99. But tonight we're going to do the last spin one hit wonder. If you guys want to go ahead and start putting your 20 chips, where do you want them placed? I'll go ahead and start getting everything ready here, and we'll spin it out. And the winner receives a special chip. You have to send me your name and your address to roulettecruisin@gmail.com. Okay, roulettecruisin@gmail.com. Give me your name, your address, and your screen name, so that way I know for sure who did it. Okay. All right, and another thing I want to show you guys. All right, Randall was our 2025 last spin one hit wonder winner, and let me show you his shirts here. All right, so as you can see, this is a white shirt, got the logo there on the front chest, and there's the back of it. It says One Hit Wonder 2025 Champion, Roulette Cruisin, and a YouTube symbol, okay? All right, so there it is. So Randall, I hope the shirt fit. I hope it works out for you. It was a, you know, something I threw together and sent it your way. So hopefully you enjoy the shirt. And that's another thing kind of work toward. That was a yearly thing. So, because you know, shirts are expensive and I really don't have any money coming into YouTube. Nothing enough to be doing a lot of stuff for free like that. All right, so here we go. Let's see what we got. Let's get some chips going here. And let's see, I'm gonna get my phone here and just make sure I don't miss anybody. Let's see, what's Patty say? Patty says, Utopia was more consistent with points when I went 2 weeks ago. Roulette was brutal on Utopia. Yes. All right, so Randall, you're up first. So Randall, you are going to be blue. All right, Randall. So Randall, you got 5 chips each. All right, so 5, 5, and 5, and 5. Okay, 5 chips each. 3, 12. Oh, back got away. 30, 25, and 34. All right, Randall, you're set. You're blue. All right, Justin. All right, Justin. You are going to be orange. All right, Justin. All right, you want half split, 0, 0, 0. And then other half on 13. So 0, 0, 0, and 13. That's what you want. All right, you got it. All right, David. All right, David. You are going to be green. All right, so David. He wants the first column. So everything on the first column right there, David, we got you is green. All right, Patty. Patty, you're going to be pink. Okay. So Patty, 10 chips on 4-7 corner. 4-7 corner, 10 chips. And 10 on 11-7 corner. All right, there you go, Patty. We got you set. All right, who else is missing? Jason, you ain't going to put anything in here? Who else we got? Anybody else? We only got 4 people. 4 people wanting to do the last spin one hit wonder. So we'll give it 30 more seconds and see if anybody else wants to drop their stuff in here. I know coming on here early has messed everybody's time up on this, but let's see if we can get a winner off of this. Now, if we have a non-winner, I'm going to spin it again. Okay? We're going to leave your bets where they are so I don't have to reset everything. All right, so we have given enough time for anybody that wants to get in here to get in here. So here we go. Uh-oh, Sammy's on here. Yeah, I got on here early, Sammy. We are doing the last spin one-hit wonder. If you want to throw yours in here, you can. If we have to spin again, you might could get in on the second round. All right, but we're going to see if we have a winner on this first round. All right, here we go. 9. All right, that is no one won on that one. Total loss on that one. Okay, so no winner on that first try. All right, let's give everybody I did above. Uh-oh, I don't see it, Jason. I'm good thing you. Yeah, I don't see it. Try it again. Do. Yep, nope, it's not on there, Jason. Try it again. Nowhere to be found. It's kind of like Randall's. It gets lost in YouTube world sometimes. All right, so while Jason's getting his stuff in here, and Sammy, if you want to get in here, get your stuff in. Remember, tonight's winner was the Seattle Seahawks for the Super Bowl. So if you're going to place your bets, you might as well go ahead and put it all on Seattle, okay? Let's see. All right, so there's Sammy. All right, Sammy's got something in here now. Let's get him in here. Purple. All right, Sammy, you are going to be purple. All right, Sammy is purple. All right, 12 on 19 to 24. So there is 12. 12 on 19 to 24 double street. Okay, there's 12 chips there, Sammy. And 8 on 22-25 split. 22-25 split. Okay, got you, Sammy. All right, so David says he wants the first column again. We got you. We're going to leave everybody where they're at. All right, Jason, you got to get your stuff in here, buddy. You said you put it in. I don't see it. Try not to drag this out any longer than necessary, but just in case. I don't know, Jason. I want 11 black chips on 34. Okay. All right. That's all you want. So we got black. So Jason is. All right. So 11. Okay. All right. So there is 11 chips. 11 chips on 34. Man, y'all wanting 34 bad. And 9 on 34th Street. All right, there we go. We have increased up to 6 people. So here we go. This is the last spin one-hit wonder for episode 41. Let's see if we can get a winner on this one. If we don't get a winner, we're going to spin it again. We're going to go until somebody wins. Somebody's got to win. All right, 19. There we go. We have, that's going to be tough. Let's see who we got here. So we got these lost, all that lost. Okay, right here. So that'd be 60 chips there. That's 12. So that'd be 60 there. Plus the 12 he's got on there, that's 72. All right, purple is our winner. So tonight's winner is Sammy. Sammy, you are tonight's winner. All right, well, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I know just kind of off time, but, hey, I want to throw something together before the Super Bowl and get that knocked out. So remember, Seattle Seahawks are probably going to win based on our spins earlier. Sammy, be sure to email me at roulettecruisin@gmail.com. Make sure your name, your address, and your screen name. Make sure I can get it to you. Go ahead and send that to me as soon as you can so I can get it in the mail for you. All right, well, I do appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. And I'm thinking I should be able to do it next Sunday. So be sure to tune in next Sunday for another night of Sunday night spins here at 35 to 1 Roulette Cruisin'. Make sure to hit that like button for me. And if you're not subscribed, make sure to subscribe to 35 to 1 Roulette Cruisin'. And until next time, happy cruising. We'll see y'all. Bye.